should do it. Link the negative ads to the campaign that's actually doing them, because as Steve can tell us, that's one of the things that really killed Romney when he went last time. His negative ads were being run by the Romney campaign. And when you run negative ads out of your campaign, yes, you hurt the target of the ad, and you always hurt yourself.
But I also think part of this, Lawrence, is the fact that just because it's called campaign finance reform, and we all believe that the system needs to be reformed, doesn't mean that it's a good law. And the First Amendment is the fixed variable here. It has been pointed out correctly for 36 years. All of the reform attempts have been aimed at the candidates in the political parties. And as a result now, the money has gone out to the ideological groups, chiefly, with undisclosed donations. And increasingly, you're going to see in American politics, in any given congressional race and any given U.S. Senate race, that it's the outside groups, these ideological groups, that have the biggest voice in the race with undisclosed dollars.
Steve,
and the only thing that you can do to reform this system is to have full disclosure and transparency. Let the candidates raise the money. Let them raise unlimited money, but let them disclose it.
Chris, go ahead.
Steve, this money is affiliated with Mitt Romney. This is not some ideological campaign. It's running a 100% targeted campaign against the only opponent that Mitt Romney fears, Newt Gingrich. This isn't some wild group out there just pushing an ideological dream. They are trying to get Mitt Romney elected president by destroying his only real opponent, Newt Gingrich. So it doesn't fit the category you're talking about here.
Well, there's no question that Mitt Romney benefits from it, but the super PACs are a result of the Supreme Court decision. That's the result of the unconstitutional campaign finance reform. So all of this is derivative of trying to take money, trying to take the candidate's voice away, because that's where the aim of the campaign finance reformers has been. And I just think it's had disastrous consequences for the system. This is the net effect of campaign finance reform. It's had a bad effect.
The problem is that campaign finance reform ended up having huge loopholes in it. That campaign finance reform, which was designed to take the influence, especially the invisible influence of money, out of money so that people could have an honest debate about what was going on and a fair debate about what was going on in the country, has instead devolved, because of this tide of Supreme Court decisions against campaign finance reform, so that we've got this huge loophole which the candidates themselves are using. It's not just, I think Chris is right that it's not some freelance group out there that's deciding to trash Newt Gingrich. It's for the benefit of a candidate.
Chris is absolutely right, because if you remember when Ginsburg and I went through the exchange with Lawrence, he said to me that they cannot come out against their PAC, that Gingrich can go against because he didn't have a PAC. He all but admitted to me it was their PAC, which is Chris's point. That's what Ginsburg literally said on this show tonight. Well, we can't do it because we're affiliated with a PAC, which is exactly what they're not supposed to be.
Let's take a look at what we are talking about. We got a quick montage of anti-Gingrich ads run by the Restore Our Future super PAC, and then we'll go to Howard.
Newt has a ton of baggage. He was fined $300,000 for ethics violations and took $1.6 million from Freddie Mac before it helped cause the economic meltdown. Newt supports amnesty for illegal immigrants and teamed with Nancy Pelosi and Al Gore on global warming. Ever notice how some people make a lot of mistakes?
It's probably a mistake. I made a mistake. I've made mistakes at times.
Know what makes Barack Obama happy? Newt Gingrich's baggage. Newt has more baggage than the airlines. As Conservative National Review says, his weakness for half-baked and not especially conservative ideas made him a poor Speaker of the House. He appears unable to transform or even govern himself. Newt Gingrich, too much baggage. Restore Our Future is responsible for the content of this message.
Those ads being run not technically by Mitt Romney, but by a group that might possibly have a feeling that maybe Mitt Romney would be a good president. Howard Feynman, before the break there, you were trying to jump in. Let me let you get in on this.
Just very quickly, Rachel, I was going to say I spent a lot of time with Romney people last night. They're in a good mood, and they love this. They love the rough and tumble of it. They're proud of it, and they want to create this environment where this type of spending is their advertisement for the type of campaign they want to run against Barack Obama. In other words, what they're saying to Republican insiders here is, look at how tough we are with this independent spending. This is the kind of thing that you're going to see on our nominee's behalf against Barack Obama. Leave out the fact that most people here don't particularly like Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney's offering his machine as much as he's offering himself. And the people running the Romney campaign, I think, are quite unabashed about that, even if they technically have no legal tie to the people doing it.
I also think as far as negative ads go, there wasn't one thing in that ad that wasn't true.
That's right.
There's not one thing that was mentioned in that ad about Speaker Gingrich that isn't true, that isn't fair, and that's why they've been so devastating.
Well, what makes Barack Obama happy? Newt Gingrich's baggage. I mean, you're going to call that true? I don't know. We could test the president's happiness.
I think
it's essentially a slam.
I think that it is fair to say that President Obama would be very happy with the notion of Newt Gingrich as the Republican nominee because of all of his baggage, and I think that Newt Gingrich was evaluated singularly through the prism of these excellent debate performances. And Republican voters had this collective amnesia about his record, about the dissonance between things that he says and things that he's done. And I think it was a fair part of the process. These ads were not low blows.
Well, why didn't everybody put his name on them?
They were well, because he doesn't have to. That's not the way the system. Yeah. That's not the way the system works. But my point that I made earlier, the system is set up today as a function of the Supreme Court rulings on unconstitutional campaign finance reform. And as long as the reform focus is trying to take money out of the system, away from the parties and away from the candidates, then you're going to have this broken system. The only reform that will work is if you do what Chris is saying, and that is to have unlimited contributions to the candidates, vest all the responsibility, all the transparency on the candidates.
Or decide that money isn't speech. Decide that money isn't speech. Have publicly financed elections. Let me let Chris jump in here, and then we'll go to Ed.
Yeah, by the way, that couldn't have been better than by Meyer Lansky. Thanks for the business we have chosen. Nobody chose this political process. It was the courts that did it. Anyway, on Sunday at a Gingrich event in Marshalltown, Iowa, he said he'd been Romney-voted, a reference to the Swift boat attacks on John Kerry back in 2004. So I asked the former speaker if this is the future of politics, the lofty rhetoric on the trail, and then the nasty super PAC ads from some front group. Here's our exchange.
No more than has been in the past. I mean,
but you won all these debates, and you come in here, and all I watch on television is these Restore Our Future ads. They're legal now, with no. I paid for this ad by Mitt Romney, and then he goes out looking like $1 million, saying how great he is. He has a beautiful family, but his ads are trashing you constantly.
Right.
So
part of the question you have to ask yourself is, he is assuming the American people are stupid. I don't think the American people are stupid.
The polls show that they're responding, though. The polls are reacting to this.
I'm sure within a few weeks, every American will know this is his PAC with his staff.
He took you from the 30s down to the teens with this strategy. It's working. And why doesn't he do it in 50 states?
And by the way, all it did was guarantee that some other conservative emerged. Yeah. And didn't help Romney at all.
But he's not afraid of another conservative. He's afraid of you.
Well,
he got rid of the guy he wanted to get rid of.
He didn't get rid of me. He just slowed me down.
What stops him from doing this in every state for the rest of this campaign?
We will make it increasingly clear that these are his ads.
How? There's no tagline.
No. All you have to do is list his former staff and his donors, and then he can go around the country all he wants to and say he's not responsible for this. It makes him look like, here's my simple tagline: somebody who will lie to you to get to be president will lie to you when they are president.
But you didn't have any problem with Citizens United. You have no problem with these big donors spending tons of money for anonymous ads attacking you.
I have every problem. First of all, no ads are being run by any of my friends or attacking anybody.
But his are.
Second, my solution would be to eliminate all the election laws and allow people to give unlimited personal money after tax and file every night and let the candidates run the campaigns and have the candidate be responsible. I think the current mess is a disgrace. I think it debilitates politics. I think it strengthens millionaires, and it weakens middle-class candidates.
Rachel, the problem is that Newt Gingrich agreed to that Citizens United court decision. He applauded it, and there he is, the first big victim of it. So there is a personal justice here. My concern is someone like all of us who care about a democracy being as good as it can be, as democratic as it can be. Of course, it's never going to be perfect because there's always money involved. That this kind of sewer spending of money, we can run the money underground. and attack your opponent without your fingers ever getting soiled by it. And you can walk around with your beautiful family and recite from America the Beautiful, and the voter doesn't see the connection. Newt's wrong. They don't see the connection because Iowans don't like nasty negative campaigning. I don't mind it. I don't mind if a guy takes a shot at another candidate because he does it face to face. But this is sewer campaigning. It goes underground, it smells, and you walk above ground looking like $1 million, like you never touched your fingers with it. And that's my concern. And Newt is the first victim of something he approved of.
When we come back, we will be talking with a man who knows the Iowa caucuses very well. He's the 2004 caucus candidate, former Democratic Party Chairman Howard Dean, plus NBC's Tom Brokaw will be joining us. You are watching MSNBC's coverage of the Iowa caucuses.
The Place for Politics 2012 brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy?
An accident doesn't have to slow you down. With better car replacement, available only with Liberty Mutual Auto Insurance, if your car's totaled, we give you the money for a car 1 model year newer. To learn more, visit us today. Responsibility. What's your policy?
Wouldn't it be cool if you took the top down on a crossover? If there were buttons for this? If your transmission never changed gears? Wouldn't it be cool if your car could handle the kids and the Nürburgring? Or what if you built a car in Tennessee that could change the world? Yeah, that would be cool. Nissan. Innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all.
You're no longer in the service. Only an outsider can find the double agent.
I'll do my utmost.
From the bestseller by John le Carré.
All I want from you is one code name.
It will take a master spy.
You're alone. Can't mention me.
To catch a spy.
You'll have to assume they're watching you.
What the hell are you doing up here?
Things aren't always what they seem.
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Rated R.
Dry, itchy skin you can't ignore needs a lotion that does more. Gold Bond Lotion's medicated itch fighters relieve itch on contact, plus intensive moisturizers provide lasting relief. Look for the healing seal, Gold Bond Medicated Lotion. Stop itching, start healing.
Now I can stop pain from any angle with no mess.
Icy Hot Spray, the fast-acting, long-lasting, no-mess spray with Shack Strength Relief. Gets icy to dull pain, hot to relax it away.
And keep it away.
Icy Hot Spray.
Don't mess around with pain.
Welcome to the charter facility on the International Date Line. This is today, while over here is tomorrow, where scientists are working to bring you the latest technology like the Charter Bundle, the most powerful internet, TV in HD, and Charter phone. And with a Charter price guarantee, the price you pay yesterday, today, will be the price you pay tomorrow, where I am now.
In yesterday's clothes.
One of the problems of the country is that we've all been basically excused. Go grab your tax cuts, let somebody else fight in the Army. Well, I sometimes think about the soldier who's on post right now, maybe in Afghanistan, in a terrible place, scared to death. And maybe one of the things we owe them is that everybody do their part in this country, including paying fair taxes, contributing to this country in their own way.
Welcome to MSNBC's coverage of the Republican caucuses in Iowa. Tonight, this key race, 25 delegates at stake. In the top tier of contenders based on polling heading into tonight's caucuses, the top tier candidates are Mitt Romney, Ron Paul, and Rick Santorum. There will, of course, be other candidates on the ballot, but the polling shows these three bunched at the top in terms of the polling heading into tonight, and so they will have the most attention as results start to come in. Doors will close in the Iowa caucuses at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. local time, and the voting will begin. First results will presumably start to come in not long thereafter, but nobody knows how long a night this is going to be. It depends on the pace of reporting and the margin of victory. I'm Rachel Maddow here in New York City, MSNBC HQ. We're joined now by Matt Schultz. He's Iowa's Secretary of State. He is a declared supporter of former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum. Mr. Secretary of State, thank you very much for being with us.
Good evening. Thank you.
You and Iowa Republicans in the state legislature have fought hard this year to try to change Iowa law so that people can't vote unless they show documentation they've never had to show before in Iowa, and then not all Iowans have. Why, when the Republican Party of Iowa had the chance to set its own rules for its own Republican caucuses tonight, did they not impose that same requirement on their own voters?
It's a good question. As you know, I'm the Secretary of State, and this is a caucus, not a primary, so I have no say in this, and